So the owner of Barstool, excuse me, what is his name? Dave Portnoy. Um, Basically, he put the money up for Bryce Underwood to his NIL deal, and now he has a message about it, about renegotiating. Or I think he also said he don't care if he leave. He said he'd have to have some big balls to say he wants to renegotiate now. Um, But he says Dave Portnoy, hopefully I'm saying his name right, seamlessly had a big hand in getting the five-star quarterback Bryce Underwood to flip his commitment to LSU to Michigan last year. Coming off a national title, Portnoy, Michigan alum, watched as the Wolverines sputtered to a 5-4 record in the Big Ten with Davis Warren under center, ranting about the disappointing season on a Barstool podcast. Portnoy in a quote that may become legendary, and our pledge to spend whatever it took to bring the quarterback to campus. But now, coming off a putrid home loss in the Michigan in the game, Ohio State, and the Underwood could barely move the ball, Portnoy is backing off. Barstool boss said in an appearance on the Triple Option podcast alongside Fox Sports colleague that he's out on putting more money in Michigan's NIL pot if Underwood threatens to leave. Quote, I'm out of it. He'd have to have some big balls to say he wants to negotiate or renegotiate now, Portnoy said. I don't think that's coming down the pike. That would be surreal. I'm out of it. And honestly, you don't have to make those comments, in my opinion. That's just my opinion on it. You don't even have to comment on it. My thing is this. This is what happens when you get these nerds who don't know nothing about football. Like, do you know how hard it is to start as a true freshman? And then from my vantage point of view, he didn't have many receiving options. That's been a big issue with Michigan as well, too, that nobody's talking about, is the lack of receiving options, receiving options that they have. They don't have a lot of receiving options through the years. They receivers, have been nothing. So that's one thing that what's the dude's name? Jim Harbaugh failed to do is get some receivers. That's also Sharon Morris failed to get receivers. And I think, with all the wants for them to modernize this offense, I think that's one of the problems. They ain't been able to get big time receivers there. Big time receivers. But guess what? When you make deals with the devil like Bryce Underwood did, this is the entitlement that they feel. This is the entitlement that they feel. They can speak and say and talk, well, I'm not putting any more money on there. He's a freshman. I don't think it's another true freshman that was in the top 5. I could be wrong. That started. I could be very wrong about that. But, at the end of the day, that kid from Colorado, he rode the pine. That kid that was with Michigan, that went to Ohio State, he rode the pine. So for people to understand what this kid walked into, as far as a freshman quarter, a true freshman at 18 years old, you don't just, this is how they look at the NFL too. If I'm paying this guy all this money, like Jaden Daniels, who went out there and got hurt again yesterday, if I'm paying this guy all this money, he gonna play. And what happened with Jaden Daniels? He went out there and he injured his elbow again. They look at it as a business. When these guys buy these teams, they don't look at it from a football aspect. They look at it as a business. If I buy something, it should be running this way. And even business don't always work that way. Even a business doesn't work that way all the time. And this is why, when you look at a lot of these guys, why their businesses be failing, bro. A lot of their business succeeds. A lot of these businesses in the world succeed. It's not because these guys are the smartest. It's because of who they know. And a lot of these people, they align themselves to allow them to go through loopholes, allow them to cheat the system, not to pay their taxes, not to do half the things that they should be doing, and bail them out for felonious things that they do. It's nothing more. It's nothing more. It's nothing less than that, y'all. They businesses don't succeed because they're smart. Their businesses don't succeed because they have exceptional methods or exceptional. They got exceptional people running the business. No, they have idiots running the business. These businesses tend to succeed off the strength of getting getting bailout money, getting handouts, having people overlook the felonies that they're doing, the bad things that they're doing. That's what fucking happens. These Republicans or these Democrats or these politicians that they align with, they cover this shit up. This is why you starting to hear about a lot of bioengineered, food allegedly getting into your food. This is why you starting to hear about that. These are the same people who cutting corners and allegedly poisoning the public with bullshit. These are not smart people. These are fucking idiots. I keep telling you that. He said it really seems like if somebody came along and said, "Hey, Bryce, here's 20 million," Portnoy said, I think he could bounce if he wanted to. I don't think there's any rules going on with that. And I agree. I kind of not agree, but I agree with that. But I think it should be rules about the NIL. But so be it. If he get his money, he get his money. I'm happy for him. Michigan has not been a great place. Michigan has not been a great place for quarterbacks. They look at JJ McCarthy right now. Look at all Wilton Spades, the Tate 4C, not Tate 4C. It was a couple guys he had. Jeff O'Corn. It's just not a quarterback friendly place to go. Now, could Bryce Underwood had saved old buddy Tail? What's old buddy Tail? Brian Kelly? He probably could, but it's so hard to be a true freshman quarterback in college. It's hard to do that, man. And people just like, oh man, you just you just didn't perform. So it's like him. He had a shop and they had a clothing machine in the shop, and the clothing machine didn't work, and he kept going down, but they had to reprogram it. He'd probably be like, hey man, get this shit out of here. It takes time. It takes time. And if I'm Bryce Underwood, if anybody gave me remotely what he paying me, I'm out. I tell him suck my dick, honestly. You know what I'm saying? This entitlement, if he did that and he got the balls to speak about that, man, fuck you in Michigan. That's what I would say. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would put the middle finger up to him. Look how they treated the Fab Five. Look how they treat their black players throughout history, bro. Hell yeah. If I was him, I would bounce. If anybody gave me anything comparable to that, I'd be gone. Because Michigan ain't no hot hub for quarterbacks. Y'all can't even be a hot hub and give me a receiver. If I'm him and somebody gave me that bread and a little bit of bread, I'll take less just to send a message. And any other brothers that's thinking to go to Michigan, these are the guys you deal with at Michigan. These are the entitled, spoiled, rich little bitches that you deal with at Michigan. This is the alumni. Fuck them. Honestly, if I'm Bryce Underwood and you got the balls to speak on this publicly in this life, fuck you. Fuck you and your money. That's how I'm rocking. Because you couldn't go out there and make a tackle. You couldn't go out there and do nothing. The majority of your money came because how you look. Let's keep it real. It came from nepotism. And I'm keeping it 1,000. He's a piece of shit. How about that? This guy is a real POS. I ain't gonna get into it. Research him. He's a racist. He's a piece of shit. But that's all I had to say, man. I don't like the guy. He's really a POS. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram. Everything inside the link tree. I appreciate everybody for blessing me with the support and blessing me with your ears. Let me know in the comment section. Peace.